The average sales price for a home here in the United States is over $502,000. No wonder people are giving up on home ownership and are giving up on this American dream of owning a home. Many people say, that's okay. I will just live in a rental for the rest of my life. But why? Well, let's talk about it.
And to be honest with you, the whole concept of home ownership doesn't really sound appealing to me. I think it's a kind of outdated concept that people in our generation, with the kinds of lives they want to live and the amount of money we're making comparatively to the cost of things that you need to live, is one, not really realistic, and two, doesn't really benefit you as much as it used to own a home.
Okay, look at this though. I want to show you something. It says $1 million home is becoming surprisingly normal. Nearly 1/3 of homes in California and Washington, D.C. are worth more than $1 million. Think about that for a moment. When you used to think about, oh, I'd love to have this house, I'd love to have that house, the $1 million was usually the house that you want. It's $1 million house. Now, those are just average homes. It's not going to be a 7,000 square foot mansion with a 4-car garage, a swimming pool, and a lazy river. It's not going to have all that stuff. Again, $1 million in California doesn't get you a lot, and depending on the location, you might not even be close to the water. Okay? And in most cases, you won't be. I want to show you something though. Because what's happening right now is our economy is shaping the way that we decide to either buy real estate or rent. For most people, they are going to rent, not because they want to live in an apartment the rest of their life, but simply because they can't afford to buy something. Think about this for a moment. If the average sales price is $500,000, what if you have to put down 10%? That means you have to put down $50,000 for a home. What if you only have to put down 5%? That right there means $25,000 that you have to put down. Who has $25,000 just sitting around when they are racking up credit card debt? They're pretty much defaulting on some of their credit card bills. They can't pay their car loan. Their student loans are behind by months. Who's doing that? That's the big question. But I want to show you something. Here's who's buying homes. Look at this. It says there's a K-shaped economy, and the K-shaped economy shows up in housing. Luxury sales rise as starter home buyers struggle. If you have any type of asset like real estate, you have stocks, any equities, you have a business, guess what? You're likely doing fairly well. For those that don't have any of those things, you're likely struggling because that's the economy that we're in. But I want to play the rest of this clip. Listen to this.
Even the ultra rich don't really own homes unless those homes have utility.
Think about this for a moment, okay? Even the super rich, millionaires and billionaires, in some cases, they don't have a bunch of homes. They may have one home, and then they go and rent other ones. You hear about this all the time where basketball players or superstars, famous people, will go and rent a home in the Hamptons for the summer. They're not buying a home in the Hamptons, they're renting it because they only want to be there for a short window. That's it. Let's keep watching this.
Like they have a lake house, they have a house somewhere where they work. There's a house in like a booming city. But oftentimes these like millionaire, billionaire people will have like one house mainly just for raising a family and just rent other places that they'd rather be. Me personally, I don't see myself ever wanting to tie myself down in one place. I would be fine like living year to year in a home with my kids until they're old enough to go to college and then, moving around from there. But the whole concept of home ownership doesn't make sense to me because people's argument is that you're losing money when you're renting, but you gain so much back that isn't financially quantifiable. I watch my parents own homes right now, and it doesn't seem remotely enjoyable. No part of it seems like they enjoy actually having the house.
You know what's interesting about what he just said is that he doesn't see himself ever owning a home. He would be fine renting an apartment or a home, and until his kids go off to college. A friend of mine just brought this up, that they ended up buying a home about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and this was right after the pandemic, and so they ended up buying this home. His kids, though, they are both 18 years old. Okay, they are both going off to college this year, in the next couple weeks, and so his thinking was, they are both going to the same school. It's over on the East Coast, and he lives here on the West Coast. He wants to sell his house and move to the East Coast. The hard part is he's struggling to sell his house. Okay? He's struggling to sell it. He wants to get rid of it, but nobody's buying. If he was a renter for the past 3 or 4 years, he probably would have been able to just pack up his stuff, move to the East Coast with his kids. But he can't do that now. This is what this guy's talking about, that having the freedom to just pack up your stuff and move across town to a different city, a different state, or maybe even a different country if you don't like the way things are going. We've seen so many American citizens give up their citizenship, move to other countries. I know many people that move to Portugal, some that move to Mexico. They are getting out of the United States because they just can't handle it. But I want to show you something else, okay? Because one of the things that a lot of people say when it comes to buying real estate is, I'm tired of throwing money away. I don't want to rent because I'm just throwing money away. Okay, makes sense. But is it cheaper to rent or to buy a home? Well, watch this.
2 people, same income. One buys a $400,000 home with 20% down. The other keeps renting and invests the difference. But when people compare the two, they only count the mortgage, and the real cost of owning is way bigger than that. Now, here is everything you actually pay on that $400,000 home over 30 years. Mortgage interest at 6.5% is about $408,000. Property taxes, roughly $190,000. Homeowner's insurance, around $80,000. Maintenance and repairs, the roof, HVAC, and the water heater, all of it, about $180,000. Closing costs go in, another $12,000. Bundle in HOA dues and the higher utilities that a bigger place eats up, and you have spent close to $870,000 on top of the house, and none of it builds equity. So a $400,000 home really costs you about $1.3 million out of pocket. Now the house is worth about $1.3 million by then too, so owning is not a loss. But a renter who invests that down payment and the monthly difference at 8% lands right around the same place, sometimes even ahead. The house is not the better investment, it is the better behavior, because a mortgage forces you to save whether you feel like it or not. Now, I did round some of these on purpose, so I'd love for you to comment what costs you think I missed.
Okay, so I think that's interesting because he says in interest, okay, it's going to be about $408,000 in interest. For property tax, about $190,000. On top of the actual home cost, it's going to be about $870,000 in additional expenses. But think about that. If you were to take all that money and put it into just a basic fund, okay, it's making, let's say 6 to 8%. You're still going to come out ahead. So in the end, does it make sense to buy a home right now? The answer is no. It would make more sense to rent, but that's the problem, is we just don't have as many rentals available, or it's just too much and people can't get in simply because they can't afford the first month's rent, last month's rent, and that security deposit. That's usually where people get hit and decide, you know what, I can't afford that either. But this is what I want to leave you with. This economy is probably not going to get much better anytime soon. I've been saying this for the past several months, that every indication points to 2026 is going to be a tough year. And it will be sometime in 2027, likely the middle to end of 2027, before we start to really rebound. Before things get better, employers start hiring, and before you're able to put money into a savings account as opposed to spend it on gas and coffee and food and everything else. So I'll leave you with that, but let me ask you this one question. Do you think home ownership is the American dream in 2026? Or in your opinion, what is the American dream? Let me know down in the comment section below.